Hello, anybody, somebody, nobody, whoever may never see this. This is Zfree Alexander Faust, the Whiff. Come back at you with some more Warhammer 40k. So this is gonna be a quick little update. I'm not actually even gonna put the card. You're gonna have to just listen to my terrible voice if you want to see the army list. And this is actually gonna be the 2.0 of the Nurgle Daemons army because it was pointed out to me very gratefully to me. I am grateful that I actually made a mistake. I have all three. There's only three lists I can think of that were sketch, which is the Imperial Knights Not Cheese Army because it was trying to focus multiple Questores and Mini Knights without with Bondsman, even though it doesn't stack. And then my sister's list, which has two Canoness, but it's Canoness per detachment, not army. So that's okay. This one, straight up, that I previously uploaded was wrong. I had Nurglings taking up battlefield slots for troops to meet the requirement for detachment. Um, Now, I spent some time between last night and this morning diddling with the Puss Boys about, okay, well, do I want three squads of beasts of Nurgle? Do I want to run some plague drones instead? Because plague drones benefit from core, and they have flies, so they can deal with some stuff as well. And so I was going back and forth. I was like, okay, well, I could do a spearhead, and I can run more. I could run the none of these plague bearers. Don't forget them. Fuck them. Um, and this is kind of the conclusion I came to, right? That it's actually not a bad idea necessarily to do that. The biggest difference is CP and obsec. Now, I have leaned towards obsec because I think that's good. So alternatively, what you could do versus what I've done is you run none of these fuckers, and then you run two 5-man squads of drones of Nurgle, and with the the terrible bite, death jaws or whatever, and foul mouths, and you will start with one CP. Now the thing is though, in round one alone, you're gonna go back up to 3 CP if you don't spend anything, and then by the time you get into combat, which would be round two, maybe turn one or turn two, you'll have 4 or 5 CP. So having that be 8 or 9 CP is cool, but it may not really matter. Um, and so it is okay to do that. I think it is definitely reasonable. Now the thing is, besides that, is you don't have obsec with that list. You just have 1 3 thing in Nurgling to maybe hide somewhere and control an objective if they can do it cheekily. That's worth it. Um, but if you do that, and while you have more damage output, more maneuverability, etc., and they're tough, they're T6. It doesn't usually matter. You just want T5 for the most part. Um, and then T5 or T7 upwards, more so T8. So these guys, T5, 2 wounds. They can tank a ton of weak range fire. So if your opponent is just bombarding you with weak volley shots, these dudes will tank a lot. And they have obsec and Spoilpox Scrivener here. If you run him, he can give them +1 to their hit roll, and they can count as double models for obsec. And so I think that's better than Blobbity Vile Piper, Scribbity Vile Piper, which can give you +1 to movement and additional for your advanced charge for core or great and clean one, so he can get into combat easier. He's just this fat fucking distraction Carnifex, honestly. Um, I love him, but I almost think he's better just for his range. And if he can just survive getting to melee, cool. Uh, he's just there to soak a ton of damage, hopefully. Um, and so if you need these things to be your damage dealers, or if their opponent will out surround you, I think it's better to have the obsec because these are going to be so hard to shrug. And if you lose the Soul Grinder and the Beast of Nurgle and the Great Unclean One, the Goo, because they're just focusing, then you should be winning the points lead. And even if they have stuff to bring there too, you should be winning via obsec. So I think this is the more efficient list to build instead of running none of these and you run 10 drones, 2 5-man squads of drones. And I think you then don't run Spoilpox. I run either Vobity the Bile Piper, or I don't recall. But yeah, so 2 3-man squads of Beast of Nurgle, 3 1-man squads of Soul Grinders, 1 3-man squad of Nurglings, because they can just hang out somewhere and score a objective, which is great. Spoilpox Scrivener, 3 10-man things of plaguebearers with, of course, the icon and the instrument, and then the great unclean one. He's going to have Shriveling Pox, Smite, Nurgle's Rot. He is going to have the Relic of Effluvior. He's going to have the Bile's Plague Flail and Bile Sword. He's not going to have the Bell or the Bile Blade. And then he's going to have Heaving Mass and Revoltingly Resilient for being exalted. Oh wait, no, that's melee. Fuck me. That's why I didn't do it, because it's melee. That's why. Because if it's just a melee, I mean, you want him to be in melee. Yeah. Disregard. So take off Revoltingly Resilient. It's... Fuck that. It's for melee. And then give yourself 2 more Nurglings. There we go. I think... So now you'll definitely control some back objective in Narnia. You'll just be hanging out, holding it. I definitely think this is a better list. But if you want to have more fun, definitely go get rid of all these fuckers and just go for plague drones. Yeah. So again, don't give him the Revoltingly Resilient. It's only for melee. Fuck that. That's stupid. You want him to be in melee. If he dies in melee, shall on you. Yeah, this should be more competitive than the plague drones, because they're cool and they're okay. I want to say they're okay, but the thing is they're 45 points per one model, and they're T6. Ooh, like they're not even movement 12. I think they're movement 10, and their damage output is just so bad. They have nerfed damage output versus their pre-codex version. They're just so expensive, and so they're cool. I'd rather just run plaguebearers. While they are 15 points a model, which also hurts, they can do better against a lot of weak fire power being thrown at them, and they what is it? Something else. Oh, it's strong firepower. Just eat one guy. It's not bad. And Melta doesn't care between T5 and T6. Or T7. Melta careth not. So, I feel like plaguebearers are the way to go, unfortunately. And this does get you a lot more CP to play with for stratagems. So this gives you overall more options. So this is the more generalized, balanced loadout. Again, do the drones if you like. This is what I like. And so 5-man squad of Nurglings. I'll have it updated on my Google Drive in the next 20 minutes, because I'm going to start uploading this. And yeah, if anyone has any comments, suggestions, critique, I always love good criticism, comments, constructive feedback, or well-natured, or just idle talk. And I love, because to be egotistical when people point out stuff, because I I almost never make this level of mistake required me to feel like I needed to upload a new video immediately. If you see a mistake in one of my content videos, please point it out. I like to put these videos out there, not just for myself, but for other people, for stuff to think about. And I make discussions, as you heard / seen, about the drones and different army lists, etc. Hell, speaking of the drones are core. So while the beasts are statistically better, what you could also do is just run. Oh god, it's so expensive. I wish there was another way to get. He gives you reroll hits, but he's just such a chungus. It's whatever. A way to boost all your core stuff. So you could run a lot more of those. You can run 3 squads of 6 each, or something, and run it with spoil pox or something else. A herald that gets you reroll the wounds, and maybe that'll have them catch up, because beasts are actually not core. So while they're generally better, you can buff the core ones to have them compensate. But then you start playing the what if game, etc. So without further ado, like, share, subscribe if you'd like. Take care, and game on, gamers. Later.